I'm Tom Vassell.
Z Garcia, what is happening, folks?
Sam Healy, what's up, y'all?
And today we're doing our top 10 one-hit wonders. These are designers who are basically known for one game, or they've only designed one game. We included people who designed, like, maybe there's a secondary small game or something that they designed that no one's ever heard of. But
Right.
essentially, they've made one game that's in people's collections.
Yes.
And some of these are going to be, at least on my list, games that are from designers that have made one game and they have made that game a long time ago. They have not done anything else. And some are clearly new designers that have only done one game so far, hopefully so far, right? So you do have those two categories of designers, I would say.
I think most of mine fall into that first category of ones that were designed a while ago and just they haven't had anything else since. There's a couple of them that have newer games that just came out in the last couple of years, but they haven't done anything yet.
Okay.
Since.
So my list is made in order of this is my favorite games, pretty much. I went through my whole big long list of favorite games, looked at the designers of each one to see if they've done it, and I found out that in my top 100 games, most of those games are by guys who make lots of games. So I had to go into my top 200, then I had to go beyond that even to get into them. But my number one on this list is my favorite game of these 10. That's how I did mine.
Yeah,
is that what you guys did also?
Kind of, not quite. It's a combination between how much I want this person to, to make another game. And, like, for example, my number 2 I like better than my number 1. But my, excuse me. But my number 2 is from a new designer. I'm pretty sure they will do another game.
You pulled a Sam.
Man, that was what I was going to say!
You pulled a Sam. You messed it up, man. You did it weird.
Let's move on.
Army of One.
Number 10.
All right, my number 10 is from a guy named, I think it's Werner.
Oh, yes.
Maybe it's
Before we go
Werner.
any farther, we're going to
Yeah, we're
probably
gonna-
mispronounce
yeah,
people's
we
names,
will.
and I apologize
I'm
for
going to
that.
try to mispronounce
I'm just going to say it's Werner Hodel, or Werner Hodel, and he designed Mississippi Queen. Now,
Ooh, that is an older game. That's 1996.
yeah. Now,
I believe.
Mississippi Queen is a game that I've really enjoyed over the years. I don't play it often much anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if I own it anymore. But it was a really fun game. Had
I
a
like
great
these
time with it, and I really enjoyed it. But if you look at Werner Hodel's page on BGG, there's actually a number of games there. But they have like one owner.
And it's him.
Maybe.
It's his wife.
But then you look
Come on now, be nice.
then you look at Mississippi Queen, and there's like tens of thousands of
Sure.
people,
Sure.
And so this
a
was
one
by
hit?
far his one hit, and he's got some other games that he's designed, but they're just like nowhere. They're nowhere, and they're unknown. So I really enjoyed this game, so I had to put it on my list. So it was number 10, Mississippi Queen.
I feel like there's going to be at least some crossover in this list. There's got to be.
I think so. I
All
think
right.
so.
My number 10 is a game that you guys really like. I like it also, too, and that's by Brandon Tibbetts, and that's Manhattan Project.
Oh, okay.
He has done the expansion for Manhattan Project and stuff, but essentially, and Manhattan Project feels like a game that's done by an experienced designer.
Yeah.
If I played it, I'd be like, oh, I would be sitting there. If you said, who designed this? I'd say, let's see, not Knizia. And I'd be trying to think of the designer. New guy. Did a good job.
Yeah.
Manhattan Project is a really good worker placement game. So that's my number 10.
Alexander Pfister did it, I would say. Except for the theme, he wouldn't probably do that. No.
Also, it's a little too simple for him, maybe. He's more complex than that.
He's done lighter.
No, that's true.
All right, my number 10 is Lanterns from designer Christopher Chung. And this again falls into that camp
This whole
of...
list is going to be from 2016.
Some of-
2015,
They
right?
are. Some of them are definitely newer games. They are, yeah. And I'll freely admit to that. He's a new designer. I actually got a chance to meet him. He's Canadian, and I think I got to meet him. He's a nice kid. He's very young,
Are
though.
we name dropping in this list?
Yes, he
We
is.
are all doing that, I'm pretty
is.
sure. You've
He
all
is.
said the names as well.
I've never,
Yeah, but I didn't say
never
I
met
met the guy.
Well,
never
I'm
met
not
him.
going to say that about literally anyone else.
I'll say it for you.
No, I did meet one person. Anyway, I like his designs, or his design, I should say. It's very simple, it's very clean, and it has a purity that I think is tough sometimes for new designers to find. and that is they often will throw everything and the kitchen sink at that first design, and then pare down or like find their voice, you know, if you would, as they design more. This is a very clean, pure, for lack of a better term, game, and I like it a lot. So Lanterns, Christopher Chung, looking very much towards forwards to more games from him.
Cool.
Number 9.
My number 9 is Henry Stern. That's an easy one to pronounce. And he did Vegas Showdown.
Good one.
Vegas Showdown is one of those games that I would have thought, that person must have designed more stuff. And Vegas Showdown came out 15 years ago now. It's pretty long since it's come out. Somehow this guy got it picked up by the Avalon Hill Hasbro team.
Well, I'm pretty sure Henry Stern worked as one of like the people in Magic. He was sort of in that sphere of people.
He knows him too.
No,
I'm sorry, you were talking to him yesterday? No.
I think he's like one of the guys who worked on like Maple Story TCG, or like he's one of those guys
I
who's
see.
worked like in Wizards as like one of the people who kind of helps,
Okay.
you know, with their stuff, or he used to anyway. I don't know.
Well, either way, it's a really solid design. I really
Yeah.
enjoy it. It's one of the games that's still coming out years later for me, and they reprinted it just a couple years ago. They didn't bother to like improve the components at all.
That's one game that I would love to have a nice,
Oh,
like prettied up, cool edition of. Yeah.
I wish
Have
they
the
would
deluxe
drop the
version.
rights to it so that somebody could pick it up, kickstart that sucker or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But anyway, it's still a very fun game. Vegas Showdown. Henry Stern.
That's a very good one. All right, my number 9 is Big Book of Madness.
That was good.
From designer Maxime Ramsberg. And this designer, I want to say, had a couple of other small things. Very, very little games. But this one, published by Yellow, a big publisher and a very accomplished publisher. And it's a really fun game. It's a game that I enjoy a lot. I still have it. It's a cooperative deck building game. Gorgeous artwork. And again, not necessarily the most original design out there, because it does borrow from these concepts that were popular at the time it came out, but a very accomplished design. And so, again, looking forward to more from Maxime Ramsberg. Big Book of Madness is my number 9.
My number 9 is from two designers, actually, and I checked both of their pages, and both of them have only done this one game, and it's called Formula Day or Formula D. And Eric Randall and Laurent Lavaur, or Lavar, I don't know.
Really? I didn't realize that was
they've-
only them.
I mean, they've done like, buku of expansions for Formula D and Formula Day, but
And we're not
that's-
even sure that's happened, because anyone could have made those
True,
tracks.
right?
And they just threw
but
the
that's
names on it.
all that they've done. They don't have anything else on their pages. So I mean, I guess there might be some
interesting.
things out there that they've done that just hasn't gotten any acclaim or anything like that. But Formula D is their one-trick pony, and it's a good game. I really enjoy
They actually
it.
went off and became race car drivers.
Maybe so. Maybe so. That's why we.
Well,
haven't
that
heard
game
of
is a really old game. I mean,
It
there's-
is,
we,
yeah.
we don't mean to be insensitive in this list at all. There's possible that some of these designers have only designed one game because they are no longer with us. And if that has the case, I apologize. I did not look up that information, actually.
I can't recall, but I think the people that I found that had that were deceased, I did not include those games because there's a clear reason why they haven't.
Well, it still would make them a one-hit wonder.
True, I just chose not to include them. That's all.
Was there someone off the top of your head you can remember?
I
Well, like,
cannot.
I know the guy
remember
made
names.
Scrabble. That was his only game. And Risk
Right.
was pretty much... Because the guy made Scrabble, I think there was like a game was like, also from the designer of Scrabble. And that was basically... Alfred Butts was his name, right?
I don't remember.
That sounds like a Mad Magazine name. All right, let's continue on.
Alfred Butts.
Number 8.
My number 8 was a fairly recent award darling from designer Chenier LaSalle, and this is New York 1901, which is quite a first game to have come out, and this is their only design. A big box game, a nice ticket to ride sort of weight game with gorgeous components, quite a production. Interesting, engaging gameplay, I would say, for gamers and non-gamers. It's a good family game as well. And again, I assume part of the reason why this person only has the one big hit is because they are a new designer. But I think it deserved to be on the list just because it's a very impressive game. This kicked off Blue Orange Games line of big box family games. The follow-up to this was not a game I particularly enjoyed, but the way they kicked off the line, I think they did very well. They did it with a bang. And so New York 1901 is my number 8 game.
Huh, he's very cult of the newish here.
He is.
I feel pretty good here about my list after hearing yours.
My number 8 is falling into that cult of the newish slip, but it's one of 2, I think. Yeah. So Titan Race was designed by a designer by the name of Julian Alain, and it's the only design that they have at this certain point. Now, like Z's been saying for the rest of his list, they may come out with more because it's a new design. It's I think it was this year, very early on this year is when it came out, and I enjoyed the game a lot. It's really fun. And it's over really quickly, so it doesn't take a long time to play, and then there's a lot of different things that can happen to it. It's a
My
race.
mind has gone blank. What is this game?
It's a racing game where
Titan Race.
you're
It's a small box. You're moving. Your little characters kind of move in a zigzag motion. They run forward.
hexagonal.
I don't think I played this one.
Yeah, you did. We played it at Gen Con. In your room, as a matter of fact, at the table in your nice little suite that you had.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what did it. Okay.
Yeah.
The nice little suite.
Now
that
when I
he
want to
had.
jog his memory, I know where to start next
Yeah.
time.
No, okay, you may laugh, but I remember where and when I played games, and so I don't always remember the name of them. I remember that game. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really neat game where you each have your own special ability that you can do, and you can attack other people that are in the race, and it's really fun. The different courses that come in the box have different course abilities, I guess you could say, or bad things that can happen to you on the different courses. So it's really neat. It's really fun. It's a great design, and I would like to see more from her.
My only caveat on that one might be I don't know if that
designer.
one's a hit yet.
Well,
I don't know how that, like a lot of people know about that game.
okay.
I mean, I forgot
I liked it
about
a lot. It was very video gamey. It felt like a video game, like a Mario Kart kind of
Yeah,
feel.
exactly.
It's good. It's really fun.
All right, my number 8 is also from the Avalon Hill days of yore, and that is Nexus Ops, designer Charlie Catino. Nexus Ops, come on. That's the kind of, there's a lot of these dudes on the map type games that are out there, and most of them are always super long, and, well, that's usually the biggest problem, is they're very long.
Yeah.
And this one was not. It was fast, it looked cool, it had really neat pieces, was smooth, and you're like, oh wow, there's gonna be like 60 people copying this game, and they didn't. I'm still mind boggled that there isn't like
Right.
people who are trying to just basically copy Nexus Ops because it was that good of a fun little game. Anyway,
And it encouraged fighting very smartly.
yeah, really innovative design, but it's the only one that he has.
Schmertly. Schmertly.
Number 7.
Okay, here we go again. New designers.
I'm so surprised.
My number 7 pick is London Dread from, I'm going to mispronounce this, Asger Johansson.
This just came out this year.
So did Titan Race.
I know, but this is like your 4th one that has come out
I
this
know,
year.
my list is not as good as you guys. What do you want me to do? They can't all be winners. Hey,
Work
hey.
harder.
London
Jeez.
Dread. To me, the thing that makes this game stand out is its originality, and I think it is. I think it does feel like an original design.
That is very
It is 2 halves that come together well, and in the first half, you are sort of programming the entirety of your game, really, and then you are going to resolve those actions that you program basically around a clock. You are saying where you're going to be at what time on the map, on the board. It's a cooperative game. It's clever. It's sort of story driven. It comes with as an app that I don't think you have to use it, but
free
it kind of
download.
like, yeah, it's a free
free
download app
download,
that's
so
like
you should use it.
it assists you in sort of creating the mood. It tells you the story. It plays some background music.
Yeah.
It's a cool game, very bizarre. It's gonna be a beast to teach. I taught this to my nephew and a friend of his, and it was tough to get into it, to understand what are we doing, like what's happening. But a good game. That is London Dread, my number 7.
I've been mocking
choice.
Z, but I'm going to go into a few newer games now. All right, but they're games you may have heard of, actually. Francois Gordon Quadropolis. It was very surprising to me. Now, Days of Wonder is not the only time they've done this, and I'm almost willing to bet Dimes the Donuts that Z is going to put another Days of Wonder game on his list. I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know there was. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. The Quadropolis is a fantastic tiling city game. It really has not got a lot of buzz at all, considering. I mean, it's Days of Wonder, so they make some sort of splash, but for Days of Wonder, just hasn't heard much about it in the past year. But I think it's a really great game, and it certainly feels like another designer designed it.
I would like to buy donuts for dimes.
What game are you thinking of?
The Days of Wonder game before Quadropolis.
I'm guessing you're thinking Relic Runners?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy also designed the one with the pillars.
Oh, okay. See, this is what happens was with these.
He's a co-designer on that game, and that's a hit in my book.
No, Elysium. You're talking about.
Elysium,
But
that's
see,
the
when
one.
I remember when Relic Runners came out,
It was his first
Elysium had
design.
it, and we were like, "Oh wow, Days of Wonder went with a new designer." And
Yeah.
Elysium came out right after that.
It would have absolutely made my list if he had not also done that.
I found that out the other way around because I was looking at Elysium, and I was looking at the designers for Elysium, and they had already done. One of them had already done Relic Runners, so I was like, okay, well, I can't.
Yeah, so these lists go out of date really quickly.
Yeah.
So anyway, my number, where were we? 7, Quadropolis, Francois Gordon. Gandon. Sorry.
All right, my number 7 is by a guy,
By
and this is the last one of the newer games that on my list, and that is Steampunk Rally by Oren Bishop. And again, I think Mr. Bishop definitely has the wherewithal to make another game that is equally as good as Steampunk
Right.
Rally.
If you're watching this and you've done one of these games, we expect more.
Right. So I mean, Steampunk Rally was a huge first step. I mean, into the great game. Love the use of the dice. I love the different ways that you can build your contraption. I love that he made it a historically based game using inventors from history to make all these contraptions and put them into a race through the Alps. I just really enjoyed a lot of the different aspects of this game. So when I realized that was his only design heretofore, then had to go onto my list. So that's my number 7,
I'm always jealous
Steampunk Rally.
when someone gets to use heretofore in a sentence.
You could say it.
I could, but it doesn't.
That was your 6,
doesn't
right?
fit.
That was my 7.
Let's go on.
Number 6.
My number 6 is a game that came out a few years ago by Dominique Bowden, and that's Witness. Witness is a really unique game where it takes the game of Whisper Down the Alley and then mixes that with deduction.
Harrison Ford's in this, isn't it?
No, this is not an Amish game.
Wow.
But this is a game that has some weird requirements. It needs exactly 4 people to work.
Mm-hmm.
It needs 4 people who are able to speak in whispers somewhat intelligibly, and then who can kind of deduce things in a cooperative way. It's just a very unique game, and I really like it.
Bizarre, yeah.
Sounds like it's really hard for this game to be a hit because it has such a targeted audience.
It kind of does. I played it with my family, and it worked with them, except one of them can't whisper that well. That's why I mentioned
Here's
that.
what I found out. Listen.
That's my dad. My dad would be like, hello. We'd be at an event. My dad would be like, so what are they? Like, Dad, whisper. But I really do enjoy this game, and I'd like to see more from him. Witness by Dominique Bowden.
All right. My number 6.
Still no crossovers.
Number 6, first crossover, I guess, is Henry Stern, Vegas Showdown.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I thought for sure, what I was doing was making this list is just basically sitting in my office looking at all my all the games, and saying, well, what about that one? Type that guy in. Oh, he's done something else. So when I typed in Vegas Showdown, it was almost like a whim. I was like, well, we'll try it. We'll see. And then when I noticed that it was his only design, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And yeah, what you were saying earlier, this design needs a facelift because it is a great game and it seems like it would be ripe for a facelift. Some company, Yellow, I'm looking at you, should try to acquire this game and
that'd be sweet.
put your artwork spin on this game's design, and that would sell like gangbusters. At least I think it would.
I just feel like Avalon Hill / Hasbro, with all these games they have Acquire and they have these other ones, every 2 or 3 years they publish another half-hearted edition of these
Yeah.
things. That's what I
Yeah.
feel they're doing.
Right. But anyway, that's my number 6, Vegas Showdown.
That's a pick that probably would have been on my list if I thought of it. I do like
If
that
he had
game
gone
a
back
lot.
farther than 2015.
Yeah, no. No, I don't do that.
All right, what's the
All right, my number 6 is slightly older, guys. Get off my back.
Like 2014.
My number 6 is Mikarinos, put out by Starry Games, and this is designed by Nicholas Odie. And this one is an area control game. You are you're exploring the sands and then digging up artifacts and taking those to the museum and displaying them in the museum for the most victory points. The game is very simple. I think the one thing that surprised me about it the most when I first played it was how quickly it cut to the good stuff. You know, it's a game that immediately you are going to be making interesting choices. It immediately is apparent what you want to be doing, which I don't dislike. I know some people might dislike that. I like that. I like games that are not obtuse in their, they don't hide what you ought to be doing well too much. And I enjoy it a lot. It's great. It's got characters with powers. It looks good. It's really pasted on in its theme, but I can look past that. And so it's one I've kept for many years now. I knew it was going to make my list. My number 6, Mikarinos.
All right, good. That one's like 10 years old. Good job.
All right, I'm back in.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5 is a game that has just recently made a push, and they've actually taken a lot of flack on how many times they've tried to reboot this game, and it just seems to be failing. But now it seems like they have their weather vane pointed in the right direction, and they're making some good choices. Dust Tactics, or Dust 1947, designed by Paolo Parente and Olivier Zamfarescu. I thought Paolo Parente had done other things before.
He's an artist.
Yes, he's an artist. He's not necessarily a game designer.
Right.
And so that's why he doesn't have any more other game designs, I imagine. But I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy the models. I really enjoy the universe that the game is set in.
Yeah, it's a cool universe.
So there's just a lot going on. It's a really fun game, very easy to play, doesn't take a long time to play, but still offers a lot of neat strategical and tactical choices throughout the course of it. It is a miniatures board game with, dice rolling and armor checks and all this other kind of stuff. So if that's not your bag, then you can look the other way. But I really enjoy the game, and it's something that I enjoy. Yeah, there it goes. Open the door for him. Anyway, my number 5, Dust Tactics, or Dust 1947, the new name that it has.
Okay. My number 5, is that where we're at?
We are.
This is also a slightly older game. Tobago, designed by Bruce Allen. And again, I think the things that sort of wow me the most and ended up on the list here is games that are from a first-time designer that do something that nobody else seemed to be doing.
Right.
And Tobago has that thing, where you are exploring an island, digging up treasure, and you are in this strange system. You are sort of cooperatively deciding by playing clues where things are going to pop up on the map. And so you are sort of eliminating possibilities of where it's going to be. So you could, play a card that says, oh, it's one space away from a tree. But at when that's the first card, that's a lot of places. And then the next card next to that says, it's also one space away from water. Okay, that just narrowed it down quite a bit. And eventually, once you've got it figured out, then you hop in your Jeep and you race over there and you dig it up. And if you're the first one there, haha, you get most of the treasure. It's a cool design. It's a stunning looking game. This is one of the most beautiful games in my collection. And this designer has done nothing else with this system or otherwise. And, that's very unfortunate. So my number 5, Tobago, from designer Bruce Allen, is an awesome game.
It was in my top 15 when I was putting
Yeah.
this together, yeah. My number 5. Well, this is maybe Gray Fox is the new designer company, because you picked London Dread. I'm picking Deception Murder in Hong Kong from Toby Ho. Deception Murder in Hong Kong is just super fun. I keep calling it a Mysterium Killer. I'm correct in that assessment. No, I checked.
No question.
I fact. Discussion over. but really, it's just a very fun game that it really is a mix between Mysterium and like Resistance, kind of sort of.
Right,
But it's a really good mix. And every time we bring that, just a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth, trying to figure out who the murderer is, and that person next to you is being so very helpful.
Yeah.
Just might be the murderer. And at the same time, it's like a cooperative deduction game. Really cool game. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong.
I would probably agree with you that it's a Mysterium killer if it looked better. And I know
That's
that
true. Mysterium is
seems weird.
beautiful.
Mysterium is a beautifully produced game. Deception, Murder in Hong Kong is not. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with its components.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It's harder to make it prettier, I think, is the issue.
Murder ain't pretty.
Yes.
Like the cards have drawings of a thing. Like here's a flower. Now it's
Right.
a letter opener.
But I guess it could. I don't know. I know that you can make that game look better.
Yeah.
It won't be cheap or inexpensive, but you can do it. I mean, each card will have that thing front and center, but then there's a background to it. It's not just the thing.
I get what you're
You know,
saying.
it could definitely be made better. So you come out with a deluxe version of Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, and I'll call that Mysterium Killer.
Oh.
Number 4.
All right, my number 4 is a really neat game that I really enjoyed that takes a lesser used theme and applies it to the game's mechanics. And this is called Duel in the Dark. Now, Duel in the Dark is a game where you are trying to... One player is the British bombers going to make a bombing run into occupied Europe. And the Germans are trying to shoot you down. And it's a course where you're programming your course in, and then you have to get out. And as long as you make it out, you win. But if you get shot down, of course, the Germans would win. And Friedemann de Pedro, I think how I pronounce
Boy, I was so ready to hear
This
precepts
guy's
that-
from everywhere in the world. Wait, his name is what?
Friedemann de Pedro.
That can't be right.
I'm telling you,
You know, people are always joking that like I'm Chinese. No, I have Chinese parents from this cat.
Yeah.
Friedman
Yes.
de Pedro.
I don't see that's that funny.
Nah. Calling no on that.
Maybe it's a nom de plume or something to that effect.
That's
but,
true. I wonder how many of those like exist.
Trying to go for that whole most interesting man in the world thing.
Yes, exactly. But I really enjoy the game, and the fact that this guy's only made this design. I mean, even like what you were saying with Tobago, you could use this same design and slap another kind of theme around it, and it would probably be just as good.
Right.
But that hasn't happened either. So my number, 4, Duel in the Dark.
My number 4 came out last year, I think, from Brett Sobel and Seth Van Orden, and that's Stockpile. Now, I know they're working on another game, but not out yet, so it doesn't count.
Oh,
But
sneaking it in.
Cheating?
no, I feel like that's no. Come on now, some of these guys
I don't know that any of these people are working on another game. I do not know that.
But Stockpile is a game I still have in my collection. Very fun, simple stock market game. There's a lot of stock market games out there, a lot, and yet they managed to make it feel fresh and interesting. This came out early 2015, I think. Yeah, so really enjoy it. That's Stockpile.
Cool. My number 4 is a crossover with Mr. Vassal right here.
Right.
And this is Witness.
I wondered
From
if you might
designer
pick that.
Dominic Bowden, as he said. Yeah, Witness is a very cool design. Again, super original, interesting, brings together this puzzly deduction thing like you would read in one of those books of mysteries, like a simple little story, and then and now tell us what you think, and you look on the back of the page and it tells you the answer. It takes that and breaks it apart among 4 people and forces you to all figure it out together by passing knowledge along to each other by whispering. Really clever concept. I don't know how they did it, but I'm very happy with this whole concept. Like it a lot. Witness is my number 4 game. As Tom said, very cool.
Number 3.
All right, I have one super new game on my list. This game just came out a month ago. Yeah.
Dang!
What in the
I don't want to hear any garbage.
invalidated?
How's it invalidated?
No, I support everything that you are saying because it
Goodness, you
validates me.
guys.
And this was not designed by a person, but an entire design
Computer?
team. Well, it's a board game. It's Mechs vs. Minions.
Oh,
Come on, that's legitimate.
I.
It's their one hit.
Yeah, but is it a hit?
Yeah, come on.
Actually, one of my games here is probably not a hit.
No,
They're not making another game, they said. So that makes them the very definition of
So
a
this is
declared
like
one hit wonder.
insider trading, putting this on your list. What are you talking about? Come on.
Insider trading. I'm telling people that's what they said.
Oh, I
It's not-
think this is valid, man. It's okay.
I don't
That
want your
one
support.
game.
I don't want your
No.
support.
You got it. I will be making a donation to your
This
top
was.
10 fund.
How much did they pay you to put this on this list?
Oh, come
No,
on.
I'm
There
just
goes
kidding.
that door
I'm
again.
just kidding.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just. No.
Look, I think it's actually a really fantastic game, and these guys came out of nowhere, really, in a sense. It's not like Riot. I mean, Riot Games had all this money. They could have gone and hired. Well, Kenichi is selling whatever these days. You know, they could have gotten.
Rethemed Tigers and Euphrates with a mobile theme. Yeah.
No, but they really could have done that. They could have brought in big name designers. They did not. They had their own team put it together, and I thought it was a good first job.
I don't know.
Nah, it's okay. I'm sure the comments will agree with you. Go ahead.
I think it's.
I
I
don't
think you're
want-
good to go.
Usually they don't.
In
but
fact, my number 3
came out yesterday.
is coming out next week. My number 3 is from designer Hervé Rigal, and this is Shakespeare, also from Astari Games. Also a fairly new design and a very fun, spectacular, gorgeous Euro game. Not as outside of the box as some of my previous picks here, but I really, really like this game. I mean, the first time I played it, I was like 9. I'm rating this a 9. And it's hell. It's really a stunning production, an interesting, engaging game, fairly short, forces you to make sure that every turn you don't make mistakes. You know, that you don't have the ability to take so many turns over the game that you can be loosey-goosey with them. You have to be careful with what you do. I like that. Every now and then, right? I don't want every game to be that, but I like it in this game. It gives me that feeling of, I better do this right, you know, I gotta win this. And so I like it a lot. My number 3 is Shakespeare.
Okay. My number 3 is a crossover with Mr. Vazel. It is by a man by the name of Charlie Catino.
I need to put this on your
And
list.
Nexus Ops is definitely worthy of this list. Now, Charlie has done a lot of other works.
What?
Oh, now we're name dropping Charlie.
I don't know this guy from.
So
from-
Charlie, he and I were talking the other day. I said, "Hey, Charlie, listen to me, Che."
Che.
What was the last time? What's up with that Nexus Op follow up? He was like, "Yo, Sam. I don't know what
My
to tell you,
goodness.
man."
Apparently, we
Are
are
you guys
now
in a
like
gang?
we're in the '80s, like Boys in the Hood or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he's done design work for other games. He's done a lot of CCGs. He's worked on a Magic design teams as well. So he has done other design work, but this is the only board game that he's done. So totally valid for this list, much like somebody else's last choice.
Hey, man, I was on your team here.
So my
Oh,
number
he's picking
3
on you now. Okay.
is Nexus Ops.
Number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is a crossover once again with the man we are all crossing over with.
That's
here,
right.
Mr.
You guys have no
Dasso.
crossover. I'm the man in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
Math is hard. Deception Murder in Hong Kong is my number 2 from Toby Ho. And I like, it seems like a lot of the games on my list here are a couple of different concepts brought together in a new light, brought, into a package that had not been seen before, by me anyway, and done spectacularly. And I think Deception Murder in Hong Kong definitely would qualify for all of those qualifications. I like it a lot. Sam likes it a lot. You like it. This was, if I'm not mistaken, on at least 2 of our lists for essential games.
Yes.
I forget if it was.
Pretty
I don't
sure.
think. Yeah. So this is a great game. Yeah, it's not that pretty. It's sort of functional artwork, but the gameplay is going to keep everybody engaged, and that's what I like about it so much. This game's one that you're going to be talking about later on. You're going to be talking about those things that happened in it. I enjoy it very, very much.
I'll just say it now. It's not on my list because I didn't realize that Toby Ho was. This is the only design that he's done.
And it's probably because he's a new designer.
And it's a little
So we
bit of
could have had a
newer
triple
one.
crossover.
We could have had it, but I decided to stay within the spirit of the list. more than
Oh,
these other two.
what? All right, what's your number 2 then?
All right, my number 2 is actually one that kind of breaks what I just said.
You got to be careful when you say things in these lists.
But actually, this did come out, I believe, two years ago. It just got a
Who knew?
revamp. Just got a revamp this year with a second edition. But Alexander Ushan did a game called Spyfall. And
That's not a revamp, it's just more of the same.
I know.
That's 2 games. He's done Spyfall and Spyfall 2.
Yeah, no.
So that
Anyway,
disqualifies him?
it's a really great game. It's almost a micro game, but it like 10, 15 different micro games come in because each location is like its own little game, and you play it the same way. You're simply asking questions. One person is the spy trying to figure out where they are so that they can say where they are before everybody else figures out. It's a timed game, which I'm not usually on board with, but this one, it really works well because it doesn't overstay its welcome. And you have the choice after each 8 minutes to choose. Do you want to keep going or do you want to play something else? I really like when games are give you the opportunity to do that. It's really quick, very small doses, but usually what happens is we play 4 or 5 times in a row, and then we move on to something else, because it really is that fun. So that's my number 2, Spyfall by Alexander Ushan.
That would be a really bad game if he actually came out with micro game versions of that with one location. It's like play one time and then, okay, I need everyone to leave. Bring in 6 new people. Not as good.
All right, my number 2 is a game that was once my number 1 favorite game. It's the only game this gentleman has designed, Brett Morrell, his name is, and the game is Duel of Ages.
Well, he technically did Duel of Ages 2.
Same game. It's just a revamping.
It is.
Really?
No, it is.
No, that's fine.
Thank you, Z. Anyway, no, this is a cult classic type game in the sense that
That was a weird pause, bro.
It's a cult, yes. You do have to
Clearly,
kind of
this
join
is
the
a
cult
cult.
to enjoy this game. Yes.
no, what I mean is
Classic.
it's certainly the people who like Duel of Ages really like it, and it's not going to appeal to the masses for the most part. But I
So,
really do
we
enjoy
say
it a lot.
This is really a hit then?
And really,
Really?
I think he just called us both masses.
Yes.
I'm okay with that, sir.
I said massive.
Oh,
Anyhow.
we're massive now. That's even better.
Well, I don't know. This is really degenerating here. Let me talk about the game.
Go ahead.
Duel of Ages. I've talked about it before, but just mixing up history and the future and the past and doing all kinds of crazy things. Really enjoy it. But he never really designed much else, probably because he was working on Duel of Ages 2, which took a decade or so. And then I don't know what he's doing now, but
Wait, it took 10 years?
He
Duel of Ages
revamped
too?
the whole. You know what, though, Tom? I will say, I think this is one of those designers that's kind of stuck in his own time period. I think if he put out another game now with what would appear to be his design philosophy, I think it would be like out of time.
I wouldn't argue very strongly against that.
Let me translate that for you. He says the game sucks.
No, but I know what you're saying, and I'm actually not disagreeing with it.
There you go.
I feel like even Duel of Ages 2, and I really like it, but yeah, a lot of it is me loving the theme and a lot of things that go on in the game so much that I'm going to overlook the fact that it could have been streamlined a lot better.
Right. Sure.
So,
And finally, number 1.
all right, here we go. 18, baby.
Come on, Z, go ahead.
I'm rolling a
With your
120-sided die because I'm going to
120.
win this thing one
Go ahead,
time.
let's see if you
Sam
win.
keeps
I want to
winning.
see if he beats you.
11?
50.
No, that's an 11.
That's Yes! I will
6.
take the loss because that's hilarious.
Who's going first? Tom, winner of a roll-off between a 20-sided die and a 120.
I gave you a small.
Total party kill every time.
All right, Z, me, Sam. You got to go. You're cranky.
Okay, me. Okay. My number 1 is a game that I really...
You said you don't like it as much as your number 2.
I don't actually. I don't like it as much as my number 2, but it is my number 1 because it's the designer I most want to see something else from, I think, who's never done anything else. This is Atlantis Rising. And the designer is Galen Sissel, I think. And it's a cooperative game, which I love. It's got a cool theme, which is sci-fi-ish, but like alternate history, which I like. It's a fairly simple game. It's got its main mechanism is a push your luck system, which I really like. And the game came out. I'm not even sure if it technically qualifies as a hit. I don't think this game did that well, but it's a hit for me. I like it that much, and this person has never done anything else. The game, I think, is even out of print at this point. Nothing else.
It is
ever.
out of print. I know that for sure.
And so it's the one game, or the one designer's game, from whom I would love to see something else done. And anything. Come on. Give me something else here. Atlantis Rising, really fun co-op game, is my number 1.
And I think my number 1 designer is designing another game, but I think it was announced after I made this list even.
Wow. So
Af-
like yesterday.
No, I made this list earlier than that.
So like 2 days ago.
Manuel Rozoy is a designer of Time Stories.
What else is he coming out with?
They're making escape the room type style game where you can plug in different modules just like Time Stories and escape from the escape type thing. And the box is going to come with 3 of them, and then they're going to sell them in sets of 3 for plugins.
Ooh, I'm excited. It's gonna be amazing.
That's a 27. You still look really bad with that.
27.
I wasn't gonna actually say the number.
Anyway, Time Stories. Time Stories, amazingly. I rank these in order of my favorites from the bottom. So my Time Stories is my top 10 games right now.
Again,
And I really like that.
the fact that, because this was one of the ones I actually looked at putting on my list,
Then why didn't you?
because it's probably that other game is probably going to be a hit.
But it
So-
isn't in 2016, November 1st, when we recorded this.
I don't know. Okay, well, whatever. My number 1 is a game.
This isn't on my
Passive
list.
aggressive. Well, if that's what you want to pick, that's okay for you.
Exactly. All right, my number 1 is a game called Twilight Struggle. Now, Jason Matthews has done other games,
Wait,
Yes.
wait.
but Ananda Gupta has done nothing else.
Well, to be fair, he and Jason Matthews are currently working on another game.
Well,
from what
I didn't know
understand.
that, Mr. Insider Trader, Martha Stewart.
Oh, so it's okay if...
Martha Stewart?
Right, that's what she got in prison for, man.
Not for knowing who designed a game.
No, but same thing, just a different context.
This new game from Michael Rozoy is going to be about escaping the room.
Why is your Martha Stewart sound like a robot almost?
That's what she sounds like.
All right, so I
It's a
guess
good thing.
my number 1 is just like his number 1, but the difference is I didn't know it, and he did.
So
anyway.
the only valid number 1 I'm hearing here is me.
Yeah, but that's okay because the other 7 or 8 on your list were invalidated. Well, it's because you had a couple other ones that were
You can't roll the
5
die,
months
though,
old.
so that invalidates everything.
You know what?
Do it.
I don't.
That's a 50.
50. That's still the bottom half.
Still, no, it's below bottom half. Yeah. Anyway, good dice rolling.
So your game was once again what? We're really rabbit trailing here.
Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, I've always been curious about that because Jason Matthews went to the next one he designed was 1960,
Right.
and he did
Did he do those alone? Is that why?
no, he actually had different designers helping him on the other ones, but none of them were as good as Twilight Struggle.
Right.
So we have to just assume that
It was Ananda.
All right.
That was the goodness.
No. Because there's other games. I did not,
He took all the talent with him. Oh.
no. But I'm saying, though, that Jason Matthews is obviously a very good designer.
Yeah, of course.
But the two of them working together was the
Right.
best combo, it seems.
So tell me more about this game that they are apparently working on.
I
Were you
totally
trolling
forgot. No, I'm not trolling you. I definitely read this somewhere. I just don't remember what I
me? He's
read.
trolling.
Why? What benefit do I get out of that?
Just for the fun of it.
Actually, yeah, I do get a lot of benefit, but I wouldn't. I'm not. I could also
It's
be
an
wrong.
escape the room game in which you you plug in different time periods.
With Michael.
All right, folks.
Rosewood.
Who are your favorite one-hit wonders? This is actually a harder list to put together than you think, because a lot of
Very
people
hard.
don't know, right?
Yeah.
You don't know if someone designed the game or not.
Right.
For me, it was pretty easy to. I'd be like going through my list. Oh, Knizia, Lang. You know, there's a
It was just-
Katana.
There were
I
a
could check
couple
off
that
so many games.
There were a few that I knew they had only done that one game because I really like Atlantis Rising. I knew that's his only game because I really want something else. But for many of them, you just have to sort of, like you said, plug it in and see what comes up.
Right.
So it's a tough list, yeah.
Yep.
All right, until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
Zig Garcia, thank you, folks.
Sam Healy. See you on the flip side.